The receipt dropped on her tray like any other, until she saw the word. A word they thought she couldn't read. The table laughed, whispering in a language they assumed a black waitress would never understand. But she did, and that single message didn't just insult her. It exposed a secret worth millions. A secret a very powerful man would do anything to protect. So what was written on that receipt? The restaurant was loud until she read the receipt. One sentence, hidden in another language. An insult they thought she'd never understand, and a clue to $1 million crime. The powerful man at that table froze when he realized she could read it. What did they write that could destroy him? She took the receipt, exhausted and ready to go home. Then she saw it. A line of text that wasn't meant for her eyes. They assumed a black waitress wouldn't understand their language, wouldn't understand the hate. But she read every word, and what she uncovered wasn't just racism. It was evidence of a scandal worth millions. What was on that receipt? Before everything unraveled, Maya lived a life most people never noticed. She worked double shifts at a busy downtown restaurant not because she loved it, but because dreams cost money, and hers wasn't cheap. She was saving for culinary school, hoping to one day open a bakery with her mother's recipes. Every morning, she rehearsed flavors in her head like musicians practice notes. It was her quiet way of fighting a world that didn't always fight fair. The staff was used to seeing her move through the dining room with calm confidence, balancing plates and broken tempers. Customers rarely wondered who she was. Too many. She was just a waitress. Polite, efficient, invisible. Maya didn't mind. Sometimes invisibility felt safer. Yet there were moments she wasn't meant to hear. Looks that lingered too long when the air felt heavy. Like the building itself remembered every story of those who had been judged here long before her. Still, Maya showed up, smiled, worked, and survived. That night, nothing seemed different. Tables full, laughter loud, expensive suits and polished shoes. The kind of crowd that expected service without noticing the hands that provided it. But they didn't. No, Maya could see more than she ever said, and she was about to read a single line of text that would change everything. That night, Maya moved between tables like always, pouring wine, refilling water, carrying trays heavy with more than just food. But something was off. At the corner table sat a man in a sharp suit, a billionaire known for charm and ruthlessness. People whispered about his fortune, the deals he controlled, and the influence he wielded. Maya had served him before, polite and unnoticed until tonight. He slid a folder to his assistant, who opened it with nervous eyes. Maya's glance landed on the papers. Her heart skipped. One sentence, in Japanese, glowed like a neon sign. Her stomach tightened. She knew that language. She'd studied it quietly for years, mostly for her parents' books. But now it felt like a secret weapon. The words exposed a lie, a multi-million-dollar scam hidden beneath layers of deceit. The assistant laughed. The billionaire smirked, thinking no one could understand. But Maya did. Her hands trembled as she carried another tray, mind racing. Should she speak? Could she? The restaurant bustled, but it felt like a battlefield. Each step toward the kitchen dragged, heavy as quicksand. Fear clashed with outrage. But one thought anchored her. This wasn't just money, it was about the arrogance of assuming someone like her, young, black, a waitress, couldn't see or act. The next table called for a drink. The oven beeped. Maya moved with taut composure, but every glance back, every laugh from the corner table, tightened the knot in her chest. She could almost hear them. You, don't belong. You'll never understand. Then came the moment of truth. The billionaire excused himself, leaving the folder slightly ajar. Maya froze. Proof lay there. One chance could change her life, the lives of countless others, the empire built on deceit. But a shadow fell across the tray, the manager, eyes sharp, warning her. Maya clenched the tray until her knuckles hurt. Choice time. Act or step back. The room seemed to hold its breath. Maya's fingers hovered over the folder, each heartbeat louder than the last. The restaurant's noise faded into a blur, the clinking of cutlery, laughter, and chatter all muted by the storm in her mind. She saw it all now. The falsified contracts, hidden transfers, the deliberate erasure of employees' wages, the lies masked as business strategy. Every signature, every number, screamed betrayal. The billionaire returned, smirking, oblivious to the eyes now watching him her eyes. Maya felt a surge of anger, raw and uncontainable. She wanted to shout, to tear the papers from the table, to make him face the truth. But the room was full of witnesses, cameras, and assumptions stacked against her. One wrong move, and the arrogance of power could crush her before she even spoke. Her pulse raced, but she acted, calmly, deliberately. Maya picked up the folder and began reading aloud. Words she had studied in secret rolled off her tongue with precision. The assistant froze. The billionaire's smirk faltered. Other diners turned, sensing the tension thickening. The lie, meticulously built over years, was unraveling before their eyes. "Do you really think someone like me wouldn't notice?" Maya's voice was steady, cutting through the pretense, piercing the veil of privilege. Gasps rippled through the room. Cameras clicked. Phones rose. The power dynamics shifted in seconds to... Invisible waitress was no longer invisible. The billionaire tried to regain control, waving his hands, insisting she stop, but it was too late. The evidence, the truth, the humiliation he had thought impossible now burned in plain sight. Maya's heart thundered, not from fear, but from the knowledge that she had broken the silence. She had done what no one expected, and the world was watching. And in that instant, she realized, exposing the truth was only the beginning. By the end of the night, Maya had handed the folder to the authorities, documented every detail, and quietly tipped off journalists. The billionaire's empire of lies began to crumble under undeniable proof. Headlines soon followed, exposing not only financial deception, but the arrogance and prejudice that had let it thrive for years. Maya returned home, exhausted, heart still racing, but a quiet resolve settled over her. She had faced fear, uncertainty, and the invisible walls society builds around those judged before they are senent. She had broken through. For the first time, the world recognized her not as a waitress, not as just someone who serves, but as a witness, a fighter, a voice that could no longer be ignored. The impact rippled far beyond her own life. Online discussions and boardroom conversations erupted about systemic biases, racial assumptions, and the ways privilege lets wrongdoing hide in plain sight. People began asking, who do we underestimate? Whose voice do we dismiss? And why do we so often fail to notice injustice happening right before our eyes? Maya's story became more than a scandal. It became a mirror reflecting a larger truth. Courage, awareness, and talent are never bound by skin color or social status. Silence, however, allows exploitation and prejudice to thrive. As she looked toward her future, the culinary school she had been saving for, the dreams she refused to let go, Maya carried a quiet but unshakable power. The knowledge that one person, brave enough to act, can change not only their own fate, but the story of countless others. And so we must ask ourselves, if one person could take a stand against a billionaire's empire, how many truths are still being ignored, and who will speak for them if we don't?